everybody, today is September 7th, 2016, and it's the day school starts where I live, which means it's officially the start of my gap year. All summer long, I've gotten lots of questions about my gap year, like what I'll be doing, what my plans for the future are, and so on. So I've decided to make a YouTube channel so that friends and family can keep up with me on my gap year, plus then I'll have the video memories to look back on later. This first video is going to be sort of like a gap year frequently asked questions video because I find myself answering the same questions a lot of times to people, and I think a lot of people will be interested in hearing a full, well thought out answer in a video form that they can look back on. And to start, I'm going to go with the question I get asked most often about a gap year: what is in fact a gap year? Essentially, a gap year is a year off in between high school and college that a student would take for a number of reasons, and it's different for everybody who takes one, why they decide to take a gap year. I decided to take a gap year for a lot of different reasons, one of which is that my birthday comes at the end of October. I wanted another year sort of to get older, turn 18, become a legal adult before I went off to college. Another reason is that I've loved traveling and I've always wanted to spend a big chunk of time traveling around, but obviously as a high school student you don't have time to do that between classes and extracurriculars and all of that. So I wanted to take the gap year just to have the freedom and the time to travel and do what I wanted to do. I also wanted to have a lot of sort of real world experiences, kind of living on your own, doing the things, being a lot more independent than you are in high school before I got thrown into college and had the stress of college courses on top of all of that. And speaking of college, I did not want to go right from 13 years of school into another 4 years of school and maybe even more and with grad school after that. I wanted to sort of take a year off to relax and do things for myself. I don't really want to burn out going right from one school into another with no break or no time to take for myself. So my gap year is fairly thought out already and what I'll be doing. In January 2017, hopefully I will be headed to New Zealand for 6 months, and while I'm there I'm going to be an au pair. I'm going through an organization called BUNAC, which is helping me find a family and get set up in New Zealand. When I get there, I'll have a 3-day orientation in the capital city before I'm put with a family. I'll be matched with a family ahead of time when I go there, ones that have similar interests to me and that I'll get on with well. Because I'm going in January, most families don't start looking for a nanny in January until about September, early October. So right about now is when I'm starting to get things moving on that. I've finished up my profile on the website and soon it will go live so that other families in New Zealand can start looking at me and seeing if I'll be a good fit for their children. That means that until January when I leave, I am home, living at home with my family, and I am working a lot because flying to New Zealand's really expensive, like really expensive. So I have worked 3 jobs this past summer and I'll be working 2 more into December, basically just saving up as much money as I can for when I go and travel. I'm not just frolicking around at home doing nothing on my gap year. I'm working pretty much all day, every day, doing chores around the house and kind of just managing on my own. So far in my gap year / summer, I've been doing a lot of traveling with my family. I went to Omaha for the Olympic swim trials, I spent 2 weeks in the Adirondacks as a big family reunion, and I went to St. Thomas with my dad. I made a video about that which you can watch on my channel as well. And I just wanted to mention that this gap year is entirely self-funded for it. My parents are not giving me an empty blank check saying, here, go have fun across the world. I am paying for all my airfare. I will be paying for my food and living situation when I'm in New Zealand. So it's definitely important for me until then to work a lot and earn a lot of money. So this channel is probably not going to be all that regular until I leave in January. It'll probably be some sporadic videos here and there, posting updates on my gap year story and any travel videos that I've made and done like that. And then probably when I get to New Zealand, we'll look at more of like a regular schedule. I was thinking more of a weekly vlog, sort of a video posting, here's what I did this week. And mostly so that I can look back on myself and like friends and family can also see it as well and keep up with what I'm doing. After my gap year, I will be attending Durham University, which is actually up in the north of England. And university in England is actually 3 years, so I will still graduate class of 2020 with all of my friends in the US that went right from high school into college. So it's really nice that this gap year won't have sort of pushed me back to graduating later than I could have if I had gone to an American school right out of college. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to subscribe if you want to be updated when I post more on my gap year. And please leave any suggestions in the comments you have for me on videos or things you might like to see me do or video while I'm on my gap year.